You know what's interesting? You know how I can sum up this Lynn Jones situation in one sentence just to show you how terrible and hypocritical media people are? I can sum this up in one small sentence, maybe two sentences. Let me explain it to you. This is how hypocritical the media is. These individuals saw this press conference, saw this clip of this woman lifting the Jaguar coaches up, and they lost their goddamn minds over this 45 seconds clip, saying she needs to get her credentials taken away. It was fake media. She was a fan. The hypocritical part of it was this. The first thing they teach you in journalism school when they pull out the AP style book, the first thing that they teach you, check your sources. Not one of these entitled, miserable people did any research on who was actually asking the question, which is the first thing they teach you in journalism school. Before you say anything, before you commit anything to record, make sure you understand the context of what is going on. Who said what? Who, where, when, and why? Those are the pillars of journalism. The pillars of journalism. Not one of these people went out and actually figured out who was the person speaking. Who was the person asking the question? None of them got any type of context, but then got on Elon's Twitter and started chastising this woman for lifting this coach up. The hypocrisy of it all. The first thing you do is figure out who's speaking, why they're speaking, what is the context that they're talking about. That way, when you speak, when you write, when you talk about it, you understand the context of it. And the reason that I know this is because that's what I did, because that's what I was taught in journalism school. Said, wait a minute. I looked at the video. I said, this is a bit odd. You don't see this every day. It's a strange thing for Adam Schefter to be tweeting out. Let me go do some research. Oh, I see. This is a valuable person of the community who has put in 30 years of work. Not 5, not 10, not 20, 30. 30 years of work. More years in journalism than some of these damn reporters that were speaking have even been alive. Ever been alive. Say, oh, she's a member of this community. Oh, she's works for a black newspaper. Do you know how rare a black publication still being alive in 2026 is? I did some more research. Oh, she's won awards. Oh, she's head chapter of the NABJ in Jacksonville. Oh, she's tenured. Oh, she's covered the team, the cross section of sports and media and everything for decades. She's loved in the community. Okay, well, that makes a little more sense why she did what she did. But oh no, not the media. Oh my God. And for the love of God, white women, You definitely shouldn't be talking about anybody's privilege. You definitely shouldn't be talking about anybody's privilege. When we got sideline reporters who say they make up quotes, making $2, $3, $10 million a year. I don't want to hear that. Who are you to judge somebody? Oh, this is why we would be kicked out. Yeah, because you be making up quotes. You guys are making up quotes and getting promotions. Don't give me that. Oh my God. Oh, don't give me that woe is me. I would have been kicked out of the line. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Everybody would have came to your defense. Everybody would have tried to save you. Be honest and unbiased. Understand your own privilege. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You guys are miserable people. And I've told people this for decades. That the media are some of the most entitled, privileged, miserable, bitter people that I've ever been around in my life. And you say, Rob, how you know that? Because I've been in every space. Every one. So I'm uniquely qualified to speak about this. Because I covered every sport. I've seen how they are in the NFL. I've seen NFL media. I know NBA media. I've covered baseball. I've covered NASCAR, boxing, UFC, soccer, tennis. I've seen how all this works. I've been in hundreds, if not thousands, of press conferences. Let me tell you, this high horsing about press conferences. Have you ever listened to a press conference? These people have went to school, or some of them, and have no idea how human interaction works. They have no idea how to ask a question. They have no idea how to formulate a thought. They're not good people. They're not people. They're not good with people. They're good with talking about people. They're good about writing about people, but they're not good actually with people. And you see that in the interactions that they have with the athletes. They don't know how to talk. They're awkward. They're weird. They don't know how to have a conversation. I have covered the NHL, Stanley Cups. This is the problem with the media. They're not human. They don't understand human interaction. It's like their brain is not processed properly. Maybe that's why they got the journalism. I don't know. But they can write about people. They can go on their radio shows or their podcasts or TV, and they can certainly talk about people. But when people actually are face to face with them, they can't handle it. They don't know how to ask a question. They don't know how to formulate. It's the crux of journalism. Asking questions, getting answers. They don't know how to do that. I don't know if they don't teach it anymore. I don't really understand. They don't understand how to do it. I've been to so many big time events. I never forget one time I was at the NBA finals and I was sick. I didn't feel well. I didn't feel great. And I just, you just don't feel good. You don't want to do anything. I didn't want to work. I was there, but I didn't feel good. And I was sitting in the back, minding my own business. Don't forget, I'm just little old BSO. This is the NBA finals. And I'm just sitting in the back, minding my business, trying to survive whatever I had. And I never forget, I got a tap on my shoulder. And I looked around, it was somebody from the NBA. They said, "How you doing, Rob?" So I'm all right. They say, "Listen, such and such is coming in." And I even tell it who it was. Screw it. I'm not gonna get. I normally don't like to give names and stuff. They're like, Kawhi Leonard is coming in, and would you mind asking him a question? Because Kawhi doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't give any good answers. Do you mind? It's just this me, little old BSO. And ESPN and Bleacher Report, CBS, NBC, they pay all these people here. I said, fine. Go look it up. I asked them about the board man, don't lie. Go look it up. Go look it up if I'm lying. I asked him about the board man, quote that he had made before. Go look it up. Tell me I'm lying. And tell me if he didn't answer the question. And it finally got some material that ESPN put on their website the next day and was talking about on all their shows. Because these people don't know how to talk to people. They don't understand it. And it's frustrating to me because we, as media, have one of the best jobs in the world. We cover sports for a living. Sports. It's not even a real thing. Can you imagine if you was an actual news person? They say, look, you got to go to Afghanistan. You know, and I made a point that we're like weathermen because we get everything wrong all the time. But nobody ever asked us to go to a hurricane. The best we have to do is go out in the cold. If that, maybe it's raining a little bit. And even then, we're in the press box. We're covered. We're one of the best jobs in the world. We get to talk and be wrong about sports and get to go to games for free. They even give us food. Sometimes, if you work for a good company, they pay all of your expenses. So not only do you get to go to the game, you get to talk about the game, you get to watch the game, you get to be wrong about the game, you get free food, you get free entry, you get free hotel, you get free transportation, and you're still miserable. I wish I could take one of you guys with me when we go to the Super Bowl and some of the media find out where they're sitting. I wish you could see what happens when they find out where they're sitting. I wish you could see how every year, it's every year, no matter what I do, no matter what I go, college football, basketball, it doesn't even matter. I just wish you to find, there's always more than a few that are like, I can't believe this. I can't believe they got me. Why am I there? Not paying for nothing. Not paying for nothing. Every year it's complaining and crying and all of this stuff. And what really gets me, what really grinds my gears is people say, well, you know, journalism and you got to do this. You have made biased journalism millions of dollars. Stephen A. Smith, who started off as a newspaper writer, makes $40 million a year. Pat McAfee, $40 million a year. The guys at Barstool are worth $1 billion. You have made non-journalists rich. So why would you expect people to follow your rules? Your rules aren't getting anybody paid. Your rules aren't getting anybody paid. Stephen A. Smith can go on 17 podcasts and say, I hate LeBron James. I don't like LeBron James. Me and LeBron James has beef. He still get to cover the NBA Finals. Big Perk can say Jokic, one of the greatest players in our era, probably any era, only got MVPs because he's white, even though he's Serbian, and still cover the NBA Finals. You can have media people that get married to other media people at the same company, and it ain't no problem. Even though they both working and doing the same thing. Why would anybody listen to you? Why? That's not what's getting them paid. It's not what's getting them paid. Your rules don't work anymore. And maybe I understand that better because I'm a hybrid. And when I say that, I mean this. I went to The Ohio State University back when media was newspapers, radio, and like local television. And you had ESPN. They taught you the straight traditional ways of how to do media. I mean, straight out the AP style book. That's exactly how I was taught, educated, got a degree in on how to do media. My brain doesn't quite work like that. It processed it all. And there are times that you need that. But also, sometimes creativity has to bleed through. And I tried to do it that way. I tried to do it the traditional way. I tried to go the right path. That didn't work out too well for me. It was only until I broke from some of the rules, I broke away from the standard, then all of a sudden people started paying attention to me. When I started, if you had a website, if you had a blog, you never showed your face. Ever. It was like taboo. You was always hidden behind that. I was never like that. I was front facing. I started the front face blog. I started where the people knew who the name of the person was who was handling it. I started that. I had to break away. It reminds me so much of when I worked at the call center. When I worked at the call center, every time I applied for a job or a promotion, I got turned down. Every single time. Went through the right channels, had the right numbers, the right great interview, wore my suit and everything. I would get turned down. After I get turned down, I say, I don't give an F. And just whatever. And I was just there. Just give me my check. I'm going home. I'm not working no overtime. I'm not doing anything extra. I don't want any extra projects. I work from 9 to 5. And at 5:01, I'm out. I'm there at 8:59. I'll get a minute to get the coffee. Nothing more, nothing less. They always offer me extra, always offer me promotions when I did that. You want to do this? You want to work in training? You want to do this? You want to have that? Sometimes you got to break the rules. Sometimes you got to go against the style book. Sometimes you have to you have to act like a human. Miss Jones, who's been working media for 30 years, felt at that time a question wasn't what was needed for the Jaguars head coach. That wasn't needed at the time. She felt through her experience, 30 years, more than a lot of you have ever had. And she's been in the trenches of Jacksonville for 30 years. She felt at that time he needed a little something different. He needed something that wasn't just how you feel about the loss. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? What do you got to do to get better? These dumbass questions that they ask at every press conference. She felt that, and I trust her. You know why? Because she has 30 years of experience. Not just 30 years of experience, she has 30 years of experience in that community. And not just 30 years of experience, she has 60 plus years of life experience. And she spoke as a human being. And at times you just got to make a pivot. At times you got to take it, you got to go with your gut. And when I realized all that and I saw the context of everything, it was fine. Could I do it? Could somebody else do it? Maybe not. Everybody's different. Everybody doesn't have to follow the same path. If you are somebody that's your first year covering the Jaguars, I wouldn't advise it. If you work for national media, I wouldn't advise it. You got 30 years in the game, yeah, it's okay. I saw my good friend Stan Barrett. And don't get me wrong. It's okay to have different opinions. My good friend Stan Barrett, he tried to explain it this way. He said, what if, the policies, everybody wear a suit to work, and then somebody comes in shorts and a polo, and it's fine, and just one day, but people like, man, I had to wear a suit. This guy came in with shorts and a polo. And I get what he was trying to say. But once again, I think the context is missing. If you just been working at ESPN for a year, 2 years, you got to stick by the policy. On suit day, if Chris Berman walked in with the shorts and a polo, is anybody going to say anything? Absolutely no. It's Chris Berman. You know what I'm saying? If Chris Berman walks in with t-shirt and a Hawaiian shirt, hey, Chris. You know why? Because he has tenure. He's an OG. He helped build the building that you in. To my knowledge, this lady's an OG. She's been through several coaches in Jacksonville. You got to be better people. If you are a journalist, you have to understand a part of journalism is not just checking boxes. It's not just checking boxes. The best journalists are the ones that color a little bit outside the lines, that get a feel of individuals and people, who know how to talk to people. You listen to Stu Scott. He knows how to talk to people. He knew how to talk to people. The OGs, they knew how to have a conversation with people. Bob Costas or whatever. We're losing the message here. We're getting upset about the wrong things. We have state media. How are you mad at this 30 plus tenured Black woman? And you listen to Fox News. It just doesn't compute with me. You have all this smoke for this Black woman who's been in the game for 30 years, giving a 45-second pep talk to a coach. And we got ICE agents running around killing people in cold blood, grabbing people out of Target. We got the president and his people tweeting out Nazi propaganda. And this is what you upset about? This is what it bothers you? These are the hills you want to die on? Somebody showing kindness? We need more kindness. Like I said, you gotta, oh my God, it's so frustrating. I can understand why Miss Jones did what she did. She got 30 years in the game. She understands. Like, this brother right here, and this is a Black woman thing, this brother right here needs to pick me up. He doesn't need another dumbass question. And I'm 30 years in the game. I can see that. I can see that. It's when you have certain amount of time in this business, you know when you can push it and when you can't. I know where I can color outside the lines and when I can't. I always try to explain that to people. People really, it's so hard sometimes because people really don't understand that our job, I'm not saying that anybody can do our job. What I'm saying is the job in and of itself is not that important, okay? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a job where if someone actually put the work in, they could do. There's no disrespect to someone like Aaron Andrews, right? But I can find 50 Aaron Andrews, okay? It's just not, they can find 50, well, they can't find 50 of me, but in general, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Most journalists are replaceable. They really are. We can just swap them out and it'll be fine. Like, I'm a big fan of Molly Qerim, but nobody talks about Molly anymore. They just swapped out. You can just swap these people out. You can swap out Big Perk for Rudy Gobert in 5 years, and nobody will care. It's just the way it works. It's just not important. Not important in the context of real life. People getting murdered out here by the government. And we worried about what him said to keep your head up. Did you see that? Did you see the coach smile? I'm like, man, that's refreshing. I mean, you won't do it everything. It's just a one-off. What are you so upset about? Why are you so angry? I've never seen a group of people like media that get so angry over kindness. Why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? Media people always, everywhere I go, they're angry. They're mad. This is not this. Why is there no coffee? Where's the chips and everything? Why am I sitting up here? Oh, I don't have no access to this. I remember one time, and listen, this time I kind of understood, but it's a funny story anyway. I tell you a funny story anyway. You want to hear a funny story about the media being mad? And listen, I actually kind of understood it, but it just proved, this is my point, is what I'm saying. So I forget which Super Bowl it was. I don't think it was the first one with the Chiefs and I don't think it was the second one with the Chiefs and the Eagles. I think it was the first one. It was when Mama Kelsey was really going, really getting popular. This was before Taylor Swift. But remember, Mama Kelsey, for whatever reason, got real popular and was like everywhere. You guys remember that, Mama Kelsey? Travis Kelsey and because Jason was still playing. So so Mama Kelsey was everywhere. And I remember Mama Kelsey was at the first media day, where they had everybody gets together and talk. And Mama Kelsey, I mean, she was everywhere. And I remember back then, now the commissioner, Roger Goodell, tries to hide. But back then, they used to have a big commissioner's press conference, like where you could just come in. Now they be trying to do it all slick and don't tell you when the press conference is and only invite a certain few people, but whatever. Back then, everybody can come to the press conference. And I remember they came to the press conference, and you remember how, him and Jim Trotter, you get into it about, the NFL not hiring black people and stuff, and they would go back and forth. That was a hot topic back then. Back then the NFL still acted like they cared about racism and stuff. And I remember that they were asking questions. You raise your hand and go around, and they go around the microphone and everything. And I never forget, they gave Mama Kelsey a question. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was the last question or whatever, but they gave Mama Kelsey a question. It was really like a softball question. It was really stupid or whatever. And I never forget, this black man was sitting next to me. I forget which outlet he was from, but he was black and still turning red. I can't believe this. Like, this lady's over here. I had my hand up for 20 minutes. He was heated. He was heated about Mama Kelsey getting the question, and he didn't. I just looked at him and I was like, listen, I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I was like, I understand. This white woman's taking all of the questions up. But brother, I have a heart attack, man. He was that mad. I was worried about his health. Calm down, brother. It's going to be all right. Just question. Try to catch him at another time. Write about what you're going to write about without the questions. It's unfathomable to me how angry they get. You only see me angry when it's like real life stuff happening. You never see me angry about sports. You notice that? I don't get mad about sports in general. I mean, like on the field. I get mad about racism. I get mad about the government. I get mad about violence, prejudice, like real life stuff. Don't get mad because AJ Brown is, dropping passes. Doesn't really, doesn't rate high on my Richter scale. It does, it doesn't rate high. And the other thing, and I hate to behoove the point, it's not like anybody was on pins and needles for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach press conference. I mean, we just got to be honest. Nobody was nobody was really. I haven't seen one question probably in a very long time from a Jacksonville Jaguars press conference. I was like, ooh, man, that was provocative. Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to do better. Media people, you got to look in the mirror. You really got to look in the mirror. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be liked or anything like that, because sometimes you're gonna say stuff. Not everybody's gonna like you. Nobody, half people don't like me. I get that. I'm not saying that you got to be liked. What I'm saying is you got to look in the mirror and realize, why am I a terrible person? Why am I miserable? Why am I like this? Why am I, why doesn't nobody like me? You got to look inward, and understand that, why am I like this? Why do I feel a certain way about something that's so mundane? Why? Why do I care where I sit? Why do I care what some other reporter did? I mean, it's easy to be bitter, honestly. I look around and see these terrible people with jobs that I'm 10 times better at. I can be bitter about that. I prefer to feel like, well, I'm blessed to be able to do what I've done. I mean, here's the you can live your life bitter and upset and be like, I can't believe this guy got that. I can't believe she got that. This person is terrible. I do a better job at that. Why they turn me down for this job? Why didn't they give me this opportunity? Why did this happen to me? You can be like that. But that's not really a good way to live. I mean, it happens, and you feel a certain way about it. But when you walk outside, you have to decide what type of person you want to be. Do you really want to be the person that's sitting up there criticizing a Black woman who's been in this business for 30 years locally in the trenches, giving 45 seconds of affirmation to a coach? Do you want to be that person that is like, well, she didn't really do what you're supposed to do? Do you really want to be that person? If you all want to know where he was on Jan 6th, let's get to the comments. Lynn Jones, if you're watching, I hope you're having an amazing day. I don't curse a lot, but fuck them. All right, let's get to the comments. What do you think, Rob? Indiana looks like a machine. Oh my goodness, they look like a machine. I don't know. I mean, I think they should be favored. I think they can. Maybe I should rephrase that. Miami can beat Indiana, but right now, I think that Indiana looks like a buzzsaw. And once you get that confidence and that momentum rolling, it's very difficult to stop. Hey, Chris, I hope you had a great weekend. Heaviest head that wears the crown. Philly found it our first time. Yeah, the Philly media is going crazy too. They're losing it because they're miserable people too. Like I said, it's real easy for media to sit there behind whatever they're sitting behind and to talk bad about players and coaches and say all type of nasty things. But don't let somebody say something nice for once. Then all of a sudden they lose it. They lose it. I have covered the NHL. I'm a big hockey guy, by the way. Hockey playoffs are the best playoffs of all time. They are. Yeah. So that people have the smoke. I got what you're saying. Smoke for the no. If you see the Stefanski presser, there's a guy, and it's totally different too, which is what makes it funny, because the reporter in the Browns one basically tells Stefanski that the team is trash and it's not his fault. See, that's the difference between white people and black people. See, white people glaze, right? Oh my God, you're such a great coach. The team was awful. Black people uplift. Hey, keep your head up. Tough season. You did a great job. We're behind you. Good luck in the future. Just thought you needed that. That really tells you the difference between the two races right there. It's weird. It is weird. And, it's positivity is not seen. I've always said this, and this goes for all races. And really our people too, which is why I was disappointed to see the amount of our people that wasn't standing up for Miss Jones. That bugs me. Sometimes even if you think somebody's wrong, you need to stand up for our people. You need to stand up for our people. And I always say this: we celebrate failure or applaud failure more than we do success. It's like we like to see people have a downfall. We like to see people have a downfall. And sometimes we help facilitate it, even if that person is helpful to the community. If they get too successful, we prey on their downfall. It's a very, very crabs in a barrel mentality. Some people say, yeah, I mean, CBS, they had a whole segment that was supposed to go on TV about all the things the ICE agent did wrong when he murdered that white lady, and they shelved it. We have state media. That's what really gets me. We talking about, the journalism ethics. Trump lies every single day. And the lies are trumpeted on social media and media. And nobody does anything. And that's hard media. That's not sports. This is real life. People are dying. People are dying. People are getting blown up. I keep watching these videos. These people are walking into Target. And here's the thing. The whole thing about illegal immigrants is it really was so. They're supposed to be you're grabbing a checker at Walmart. What are we doing? But we care about a black lady saying, "Keep your head up." Yeah. Idle time is the devil's workshop. Easy to make noise. Yeah. Thomas, listen. That's what got me. If you have an opinion, I'm normally okay with that. But do some research first. If you're gonna lecture me about media ethics, and you didn't do a lick of research before you got on Twitter with your Twitter fingers, then get the hell out of here, man. People like Munchkin, Lupica, Gottlieb look in the mirror. They have a lifetime of bad luck. See, that's the money doesn't necessarily make you happy. Remember that first off, because all three of those guys are rich. Munchkin has been hiding and saying crazy things, specifically about black athletes, for 20 years. And New York Post just keeps giving them promotions. New York Post fires half the people, but they keep him on. Doug Gottlieb, come on, man. I mean, that goes without saying. And I got remember I told you the story about Mike Luke, about the media people that didn't like that season. One time I went to the NCAA Final Four, and they didn't put Mike Lupica back when he was kind of doing more sports. They didn't put him courtside. They put him like on the baseline. He lost it. I mean, he literally lost it. He was sitting out in the hallway just fuming. Very, very, very upset. Misery does love company. They are miserable, entitled journalists. They think they're more important than they really are. They think they can just say whatever they want to say negatively. And we're supposed to put them on some sort of pedestal. Half of them don't even watch the games. Also, I think people don't understand the difference between a beat reporter and a national reporter. Beat reporters are there every single day. And I feel bad for beat reporters. And I tell you why. Because a beat reporter is there every single day. Practice, games, whatever. All year. They establish a relationship with the players, with the coaches, good and bad, whatever it is. And then when it gets, fun time, playoffs, things like that, the national media converges and acts like the local media don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's no way a national media person should be talking anything about Miss Jones. She's been there for 30 years. You just came in. How you gonna tell them how they should handle their press conferences? She's been there since they were 3-13 last year or something like that. 3-14, whatever. They were terrible, and she was still there. So you don't get to come in and give your 2 cents on all of that. Thanks to the people on Instagram for checking out the live as well. I just had to get all that off my chest. Be better people is the overreaching thing of this. Be a better person. Okay. Sometimes you got to throw the rule book out and just think like a normal person. Think like a human. And that's okay. And you don't have to qualify it. Well, no. Just sometimes like it's fine. I understand. It's not a big deal. Actually, it was kind of cool thing that happened. Simple as that. And if you in your mind you turn into the Hulk about it, you just go look in the mirror, reevaluate yourself. Honestly, reevaluate. We're living in terrible times, so I get it. But you choose how you want to live your life on a daily basis. That's my message to you, me in media, and just people in general. Appreciate you guys.